is that they can rise peacefully because they have a Confucian culture. They don't believe in realpolitik. They don't believe in the ideas of John Mearsheimer any more than the Americans do. So you have these two countries, the United States and China, right, that are fueled by different ideologies that nevertheless both emphasize peaceful rise. The American liberal theory of international politics emphasizes peaceful rise, and Confucianism emphasizes peaceful rise. So, for many years, people think that as China grows more powerful, right, as it's integrated into institutions like the World Trade Organization, which really fuels its economic growth, that there's not going to be any problem. Now, my argument all along, and I was pretty much a lone voice in the wilderness, was this is not the way you want to think about this. Because as China gets more powerful, it's going to want to dominate East Asia. It's going to want to act like the United States. In other words, realist logic is going to kick in. But most people thought that I was living in the wrong century and that this is just not the way the world works. We live in a world where ideologies like Confucianism and liberal democracy prevail, and we would be okay. That was the view. Uh, but as happened, China began to grow more and more powerful. It began to look more and more like a peer competitor of the United States when you looked at its economic capabilities. And then it began to change, to translate those economic capabilities into military capabilities. And the end result is that the United States was started fearing China. That's what happened. It's exactly what I would expect. The Chinese argued that what they were doing was purely defensive in nature. The Chinese said, what's wrong with us building up our military somewhat now that we're getting economically more powerful when you, the United States, are much more powerful militarily than us? The United States didn't see it that way. The United States saw every step that China was taking to defend itself as an offensive move against the United States. As you know, Glenn, this is the classic security dilemma.